All right, guys. Welcome to another episode of Nappy Fusion. It's myself, Black C, and my brother, Jamil. Jamil, what's happening, bro?
Yo, yo, I'm cool, brother. Charlie. How you doing, man?
Uh, Telling me a deal. I just relaxed for it. Charlie.
Nice one. It's another cool Sunday.
Oh yeah, yes, another beautiful.
Mm.
All
How's
right. So today
your
we have.
weekend been?
Uh, can you say that again?
How's your weekend been? You been chilling?
Not too bad. Just home
Mhm.
trying to get things done. Like chill out.
Yeah,
Nothing crazy, Charlie.
yeah.
How about you?
Same here, bro. Same here. Same here.
All right. So
Go
for
ahead, man.
Oh, okay. So for today, we have a very interesting topic to discuss.
Mm.
Basically, we are talking about the challenges faced by, African athletes. You know that we are in the Olympic season,
Yeah,
Olympic right
Olympics
now.
started. Yeah.
So we are looking at some of the challenges our brothers face, as they go out there to compete.
Mm.
We all know that, Charlie, Africa, we have all these challenges. So, Africans going out there to compete is not on the same level ground as people coming from,
Yeah.
Europe
From
and other developed countries. So
yeah.
we'll be looking into that, see, some of the challenges they are facing and some of the suggestions and, resources available, if any, to help them overcome some of these issues. So before that, you already know we have a question of the day. Jamila, are you ready?
Cool, brother. Yeah, let's go. Let's go, man.
All right, let me let
Let's
me
go. Let's
let
go.
me
I'm
pull it
ready,
up.
man. I'm ready.
Just want to see how well you know Africa. So, let's.
Yeah, Charlie. I'm ready, man. Ready.
All right.
Let's go.
So the question of the day
Give it to
is
me. Yeah.
the Mau Mau uprising happened in which country? Is it one? Is it Congo? Two, is it Sudan? Three, is it Kenya? And the last one, is it Zimbabwe? So
Wow. Mau
which
Mau.
country did the Mau Mau uprising happen? The Mau Mau uprising.
Oh,
So
I see. Mau Mau.
yeah, so you think about it. We'll come back to it, at the end of the episode. So um, all right, so let's jump right into it. So
Yeah.
Jamil, so Charlie, say right now the Olympics is going on. We have athletes from all over all around the world. Currently in Paris. You know, um, Being part of the Olympics. But knowing Africa, we being from Africa, we already know that the African athletes are not competing on the same level as their colleagues from the diaspora. So we've heard stories. Recently we had a story about some Ghanaian what do you call it? Is it Paralympics Paralympic
Yeah.
athletes
Yeah.
traveling
Yeah.
outside, to these international events, and they all disappeared apparently. So it's quite interesting, to see some of the challenges and some of the uh, steps our brothers have to take, to fit, as far as all these international sporting events are concerned. So
Mm.
well, let me ask you this. Uh, you know, what are some of the uh, reasons, or what are some of the setbacks that you think, or that you see hindering our African brothers and sisters from, you know, participating on the same level as their colleagues outside?
I'll, 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 I'll quickly jump to financing
Hmm.
as one of the hurdles facing some of these athletes. Because, um, you know, for a number of years now, the Olympics has been happening like I don't know if it's every 4 years. And I noticed that there are some countries, especially like my country, you don't see too many athletes from other countries. This just what 3 4 days ago when we were watching the what do you call it? The opening event for the Olympics. Ghana had, I think, had 9 athletes.
Mm.
I don't know, what, 9 or 12. And some countries had what 300. Some countries had 400 athletes. They are participating in every single event, you know. They have athletes for every single event. But we probably pick like 3 or 4 events, and then you know, if you go in that way, it just shows that you are you are not you're not ready to compete. Like you're not, because how many medals can you get if you're going with 9 10, say you're going with 20 athletes? How many medals are you going to get? It just shows how ill prepared the whole squad is, you know, because if people are going with 300 400, they're definitely going to, I mean,
Basically, the chances of
exactly getting
it's numbers. It's a numbers game.
exactly.
Because
That's
if
what I'm trying to
you
say.
send 300, there's a likelihood that at least one or two of them will come home with the medal.
Yeah, you get a decent number of athletes getting medals. But then if you have like less than 20 athletes competing for the same event, I mean, it's very possible that you can get uh, a decent number. That's if you are like massively prepared. But then Africa, there's a financing problem where some sports gets more attention than
Okay,
others,
hold on.
especially like football.
So before we go to the financing aspect of it, you said something that we only take maybe 20, maybe 10, 20 athletes to the Olympics, right?
Yeah,
So is it also because in Africa the kind of games or the kind of sport we are into is limited? Because for instance, I know that um in Ghana, for instance, I think as far as I know, Ghana is only into, I think, soccer, maybe the field and track games, the 400 meters baton race and all that stuff, and also maybe volleyball. I don't even know if Ghana is that, our volleyball team is on that level, but I know we do volleyball. I know we do soccer, volleyball, we do what else do we do in Ghana?
you see, there isn't. So that's what
The
I'm saying.
variety, there isn't a whole bunch of variety, as
Yes,
far as
if the Black Stars have a competition, like say there's a World Cup or there's an African Cup,
yeah.
the money that is put into, preparing them, you just can't compare to Olympic athletes. For instance, we should have a team for basketball. We should have a team for football. We should have a
Exactly.
team for swimming. We should have a team for, like you're saying, volleyball, for tennis.
Yep.
For all of these, we should have at least teams for like 15, 20 events,
So
But
on that
then
note, is it I don't know if it has to do with finance on that level, or is it that, at the grassroots, going back to the schools, we don't have that much variety as far as games,
yeah, I
in our
think it's both.
schools,
I
our
think it's both.
sports.
We don't partake in enough variety when it comes to sports. It's these days that you can say there's a little attention given to basketball, And then I think last Olympics, some people tried swimming.
Okay, so how many African countries have a basketball team?
Maybe the Northern Africa, the Northern African countries, so like the Moroccans, the
Tunisia and
Egyptians,
all
yeah,
that.
yeah, Tunisia, but you don't see a country uh what? There are so many countries like the Madagascar. You
Tanzania
don't you
and all
don't
that.
yeah, you don't see much of Tanzania. I think when it comes to track and field, Tanzania represents.
Hmm.
I think
Well,
Tanzania
that's true. I think that when it comes to those track and field events, they are,
They are special countries, the
countries like
Kenyans, the
Kenya,
Tanzanians, the
Sudan,
Ugandans,
they do
yeah,
really well.
Sudanese,
Yeah.
they do really well. But then that's it. I don't think apart from South Africa, I don't really see any African countries competing in like swimming. South Africans are really strong. I don't see, I, I think I've seen one Ugandan. He didn't do too well, but at least they competed. But that's it. You don't really see.
But
I
but
think I've seen an Egyptian too.
but I mean, on that same point, how many Olympic size swimming facilities do we have, available?
Exactly. So that's where the financing and all those things come in.
Yes.
There isn't much attention given to so many other sports that's you know we could partake and bring medals. There isn't much attention given to all of those. You know, I
Yeah.
don't know what it is because I don't think we've had a tennis team. I don't think we've had, well, apart from the swimming that I think they tried last the last Olympics. But that was it.
Hmm. So, I mean,
Tennis, nothing.
uh, on that, do you also, okay, let me jump right into the finance, part of it. Um, what are some of the financial constraints? Because if you see the African athletes, and sometimes you compare them to those from Europe, you can tell that even sometimes it's hard to say this, but the African athletes look malnourished, sometimes.
Yeah,
It looks like they don't have the right facilities, the right nutrition, to help them stay fit, and on par with some of these international, athletes. They don't have the right exposure sometimes, because they should be able to travel sometimes to go and train, in certain
yeah.
areas. They don't have the enough the right medical care, when it
Yeah.
comes to that. I mean, what are some of the other constraints financially that you think is hindering their development?
Look, I'll tell you something. The last Olympics, some of the athletes were complaining that people who were partaking in the swimming competitions and even the track and field, they were saying a lot of them had to foot their own, flights tickets. They had to foot their own what do you call it? Like their own the like footwear for
Yeah,
whatever.
the accommodation, hotel stay, and all
Yeah,
that.
they have to foot their own, but they are competing for the country, and then so if the country doesn't pay, like like if the country is so what, so they go there and then they get a gold medal and you are proud, but but
Support.
there's no support, there's no attention, there's no,
But
I don't know how they be
let me
motivated.
ask you this, not to cut you short, sorry, but do you think that it is the sole responsibility of the government to sponsor these trips? Because from the little I know, um, when you go to the US, for instance, some of these, uh, you know, um, some of these games are sponsored by companies like Nike, Reebok, Gatorade. They sponsor the artists. They give them their attire. Some of them, banks and stuff pay. So I don't think it's necessarily the government. It's not solely on the government to sponsor, some of these trips. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, but if but then there are government organizations that come together that try to get sponsorship for these athletes,
Hmm.
right? I don't know how it works in other countries, or probably should I say the West? But then I'm sure there are institutions that have been built by the government to handle these things. It doesn't have to be directly the job of the government to make sure that all these things are in place. But then you build institutions that
Like
handle all of
like
these
like the
things.
sports ministry, the sports.
Like the sports ministry, yes, the sports ministry should be able to put all, because they handle everything concerned with the Black Stars, the Ghana Black Stars, whenever there's any competition, you know. So if the sports ministry, the GFA under the sports ministry, so they should have, you know, and should I say, federation for tennis, something that takes care of swimming. And the finances need to trickle down to all these, all these small, uh, you know, institutions, that's so they can uh, better manage the athletes, make sure they are healthy, make sure, they are well equipped, you know. There was this time I don't remember the competition, but it was a it was a bicycle race. I think it was here in Ghana. And there was no the athletes had to purchase their own bicycles. And then someone's bicycle got damaged. And that was the only bicycle he had. So it means that it was out. Well, I don't think there'll be anything of that sort in the Tour de France. I mean, that's like a big competition, but there should be things. I mean, things should be put in place. You can't have just one bicycle for each athlete. So, so it means that the person just failed. Meanwhile, there should be institutions that get them every equipment that they need for them to function properly and then train properly, and then be able to compete on a very, very high level.
Okay, let me
But
let me also, sorry, let me chip in this. There's a question. Do you think that we as Africans, we don't, well, maybe we do, but the value we place on some of these international, sporting events is not that much. Let me say it in a different way. Let's say, for instance, you don't think that maybe we see it as maybe the artists go, the athletes, they go and they take part in all these events. So what is the benefit? I mean, fine, we get the gold, we get the fame, we get the bragging rights and all that. But looking at all the poverty, happening here in Africa, financially, are we gaining anything from these international sporting events?
yeah, I mean, once you get a medal, I think there's this monetary compensation that comes with it.
But how about the because we are asking the government and the ministers in order to, put in the work, find
Mm.
sponsors, pay for all these things. But do you think that the exposure it brings to the country is enough to merit all that investment? I don't know. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I mean, take a country like Jamaica.
Hmm.
Anytime you mention Jamaica, everybody knows track and field is more or less for the Jamaicans. I mean, the Americans are
or
also like
like
a
Brazil
tight,
soccer, right?
yes, or like Brazil soccer. So, um, you should in the sporting space, there should be at least one sport that you know, you know, if you mention Kenya in the sporting space, you know it's the long distance running. When you mention football or soccer, you know it's Brazil. There should be
But
one space that you you like
you
your country
specialize.
should, yeah, your country should, everybody should be able to mention like your name when it comes to like that space. Maybe you may not be the top, but they should say, oh, this country, including Ghana, have are very good in swimming.
But
Maybe
but
we may not be too, yeah, ask.
but that in itself bring tourism to the country. That's what I'm trying to find out.
Yeah. So Brazil, when it comes to football, because of football, I think because of football, Brazil is like uh I think has become a big tourist destination because everybody wants to know where Ronaldinho is from. Everybody wants to
Hmm.
know where R9 is from,
That's
so
true.
they visit easy. So I mean, you may that's what probably the country is going to get from, is going to benefit from all of this. You put your name
On the map.
on the map, and then you get more attention. The more attention, I think, the more attention you get more. The other things that probably come with attention. I mean, now if you'll probably get to a certain level. Now, if you talk, people listen because you have athletes that have, you know, proven. So then when it comes to that space and you have an opinion, people listen,
Hmm. So let's say
Yeah.
that, like when it comes to soccer, if Brazil says something, people listen because they have that
Yeah,
expertise,
exactly.
that authority.
They've been athlete, they're athletes that have been there, like done that. So yeah, if Ronaldo phenomenon comes to sit there and then he's talking about football, people will listen. If Ronaldinho is talking about football, if Michael Phelps is talking about swimming,
Swimming.
definitely people will listen.
So in that sense, would you say that these uh, you know uh, sporting events or these outlets should somehow, some way be linked to tourism? What do you think?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, it should. It should. Because these days tourism has brought so much uh monetary value to so many countries, you know, and now people are benefiting a lot from tourism. People have slowed down on natural resources and are even focusing more on tourism because it's bringing in more money than they expected. So yeah, I mean, the more
So,
people
I
you get
mean,
visiting the country.
from what you're saying, if I'm getting it right, it means that the companies and the governments,
Hmm.
of Africa should look at these events from a tourism perspective, I guess.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, the only country that hosted the World Cup that I know didn't reap every money they put into the tournament was the Qatar World Cup. They put so much, like insane amount of money. I mean, they got back like half the amount that they put in. But these people have money to splash, so it's not like it bothered them. And people they were able to showcase their culture. So many
Mm.
people understood them more. People that visited the country noticed that, okay, there's been a lot of negativity surrounding um, countries such as Qatar, but then they moved in, for the tournaments, and then so that like the country is so safe, people don't even lock their doors. People people can actually leave wallets where they are sitting, go get something else when come back, the wallets will be still intact. Like it's people got to know the real Qatar, and people loved it. So many people were considering even moving there, to like relocating to even Qatar, and which is a big plus for them. I mean, they've lost a lot of money, but I mean, they could afford to. But then they're getting, so many things in return, so much attention, so much, people are coming for tourism, and that's where the money is.
Okay. Okay. All right.
We should have a different look at the sports, and then stop. We shouldn't always just look at the football, or just a minute aspect of the whole sporting thing. They should spread their wings, and then reap the benefits from all the other sports competitions, and then I think the country will benefit more.
All right. The conversation is getting interesting, but our time is also, running out. But before we get to the end, I have a question. Do you think Africa is ready to host the Olympics?
I'm sure there are some African countries that could do it. I mean, South Africa hosted the World Cup in 2010. Yeah, and they did a fantastic job. I'm sure there are some African countries that are up to that task. I'm sure they'll be able um to host.
Yeah, okay.
But
Well,
then
there's more to discuss on this topic, but our time is running out. So we'll see.
yeah,
Maybe next week we might get back to it since the Olympics is still ongoing.
yeah, we need to talk about the people that disappeared.
Oh yeah,
So
yes, we didn't get to
yeah,
that.
yeah,
So
we need to talk about that.
oh yes.
I don't know if you had the update on that, but
We'll leave that for next week.
yeah, most definitely, most
It's a
definitely.
very interesting story. So all right, Jamil, are you ready? Do you have the answer now? Let me get back to the question.
I think I'll just make a guess. I'm unsure, so I'll just make a guess.
So the question again
You
is,
said the Mau Mau.
yes, the Mau Mau uprising happened in which country? Is it Congo, Sudan, Kenya, or Zimbabwe?
I'm going to say Kenya. I don't know why, but I'll just say Kenya.
Okay, and that's
I
correct.
don't honestly. I don't even know what the Mau Mau uprising even is.
Oh, you don't? All right. So the Mau Mau uprising refers to a violent rebellion that took place in Kenya from 1952 to 1960. It was led
Yeah.
by Mau Mau, a secret society composed mainly of members of the Kikuyu ethnic group. They
Oh,
were fighting
Kikuyu. Okay.
against British colonial rule.
Oh, I see.
And it is a significant event in Kenya's struggle for independence, I guess. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
that is.
I hear the Kikuyu people are very, very strong and rebellious.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, they were strong and rebellious when it came, I mean, during that period
Mm,
when they had conflicts with the West, the
mm.
Europeans. Yeah. I hear the Kikuyu are a very, very strong, resilient tribe.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The Mau Mau uprising. I
Yeah.
think I have to do a lot more reading on that.
Oh yeah, it's very interesting. When I first saw it, I'm like, oh wow, that's pretty interesting.
Well, that's cool.
Do
That's
you
cool.
have any program for us today?
Yeah. Let's see. Today I got some Akan um proverbs. I'm sure we've you and I have heard a few of these before, but for people that are listening that's unsure of some of the accounts, I'll give like two.
Okay.
I'll give the tree and then the English translation. So Number one is Okoto Onwanoma, which literally translates to a crab does not give birth to a bird. So the meaning is this is used to acknowledge the resemblance between a child and his parents. The resemblance could be in physical features or character. It's a similar English saying that the apple does not fall far from the tree.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so something like that's what that means. So that's cool. And then there's a second one. That says Rufo Diapa. So that literally translates to it's when you climb a good tree that you are pushed, which means the society and the elders in it can only support a good cause. Not a bad one. Hence, if you want our support, that is the elders. If you want the support of elders, you should do good things, which can which all can publicly identify and support. So yeah.
All right, Jamil. Thanks for the proofs.
These are two. Yeah.
As always. All right, guys, that'll be all for today. We appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you, next week with another episode. So have fun, enjoy your Sunday, and stay blessed.
Sure, guys. Take care.